Okay, so here are the settings of the EA. Okay, I'll just go through them one by one and just describing what each one does so that you can familiarize yourself with them. All right. Yeah, so the first one is magic number. So magic number is just sort of like a name tag or an identifying ID for the EA. So this one is only important if you are running multiple instances of the EAs. So you just need to make it different, okay? You can make it any number from like 0 to I think like a billion. Yeah, I'll have to check. But yeah, just make it a unique number. If you are, especially if you are running it on the same symbol, let's say in different times and you don't want them to interfere, just make them different so that they don't interfere, okay? Then start hour. This one is just self-explanatory. It's just the time you want to run, okay? Uh, for the next update, I can include minutes as well, but at the moment, I'm just using hours because I've noticed for this strategy, everybody just uses hours. So I just assumed minutes are not that important. Okay. Yeah. So at the moment, it's saying you start at 12. Okay. Then session hours. So if you just want to trade from 12 to 1, then you just so your session hour will be 1 hour. So you just put 1 there. Okay. Yeah, in the initial version, I had start hour and stop hour manually, but I had to change that because it was sort of taking long when I was optimizing it that way. Yeah, just don't ask me how, just believe me, it was taking long, okay? Yeah, so at the moment, I have 8. I probably got that from optimization because, well, the theory of this strategy is just do it for 1 hour and stop, okay? Then close hour, I probably got that from optimization as well. I don't know what the theory of the strategy says. Then close after hours. So this is if you want to close your trades at the end of each day. So you just need to set that to true so that they can all be closed. Trail SL. Yeah, this sort of self-explanatory. Okay, so these two guys should actually be next to each other. I will edit that for the final EA. So these ones, they go together. So if you have this one as true, then this one becomes important, okay? So it's pretty much so if this one is true, then this one becomes important. Otherwise, if this one is false, then this one is not important, okay? So let's say you are using a risk reward of 2, right, in your strategy. Then you want it to break even when it reaches risk reward of 1. So then you just put 1 here, okay? Then that way you know it will just break even. All right, now let's say you're using a risk reward of 5, okay? Well, I don't know if that's gonna work, but for interest sake, right? So when your trade, so if you leave this at 1, when your trade reaches a risk reward of 1, it breaks even. When it reaches a risk reward of 2, it then moves your stop loss to lock in profits at risk reward 1, and so forth. So it will pretty much just trail by 1 risk reward as you go until you win, okay? Yeah, it's probably better to use high risk reward and then turn this on. I'm not sure. Okay, you will have to play around with the EA and discover some stuff for yourself. All right, then entry time frame. Okay, so that's self-explanatory. You have to like manually specify which period you want to use to make your entries. So remember, I said the way this one works, it waits for a bar to open inside the zone and then breaks out. So it's very important that you select a lower time frame here. So that's why it's by default on 1 minute. But depending on what other higher time frames you're using, you may notice that you want to use 5 minutes and so forth. You just have to play around and see. All right. Yeah, then here these are your high time frames. So here I have time frame 1. If you want to use it, then you have to make it true. If you don't want, just make it false. Yeah, so that means let's say you just want to use 1 minute and 5 minutes only, then you just need to make everything else false. All right, so if you want to use 5 minutes and 15 minutes, then you have to make this one true. Okay, so it just, yeah, you just decide. So these are all like high time frames where the EA looks for the fair value gaps to draw all those zones. All right, yeah. Okay, so this one, I'm not sure why I'm calling it hedging RR, but it's just your simple risk reward ratio. Okay, so I like to use 2 because I mean it's not too far, it's not too close, it feels like just right. But of course, if you play around with this, you may actually discover some things that I don't know myself. Okay, risk percent. Yeah, I like to usually use 1 or even 0.5 here because I don't like to risk a lot. Okay, then here it is some daily drawdown function. So this EA actually employs, it actually manages the account for you. You can actually set it to say, if you lose this much percent in a day, stop trading. Okay, so at the moment it's at 3. You can put it to whatever you want depending on your risk appetite. All right, then overall drawdown, this is pretty much the amount of money you want the EA to lose, like overally. So let's say maybe you want to trade for 6 months. Yeah, you can tell it that, well, keep trading until you lose all my money. Or you can say, you know what, I'm only willing to lose 30% or 20%. Then you can just put in the numbers here. All right, depending on how much you're willing to lose overall. Then profit target, again, this is a percentage, right? You can just say, well, you know what, just make me 5% profit, then stop trading. So you just have to put 5 there if that's the case. If you want to make, if you don't want it to stop trading, well, I usually just put a very high number that, I mean, even if it stops, I know I have a lot of money. Okay, yeah, depending on your targets, you can make this whatever you want. All right, yeah. This function, I'll have to explain it in another video. Okay, at the moment, please leave this on false. I will explain this on another video. Same thing as this one. This one, you want it to be true for these guys to be respected. Okay, so apply drawdown rules, you want it to be true. Then send Telegram signals. This is actually a bonus. All right, so if you want the EA to send signals to your Telegram channel, you just have to make this true. But if you make this true, you have to come here and put your token and your chat ID for your Telegram channel. All right, I will probably show you in another video how to do this if you don't know how to do this already. Then here, these are just the colors of your order blocks as they are drawn. So that's pretty much all the settings of the EA.